Bruce, thanks for joining me again today to discuss some further excellent news from the company's flagship Paradox Brine project in Utah. Now, firstly, you released your preliminary economic assessment, or PEA, for Paradox a few weeks back, and it revealed some outstanding economics. Now, I note that you released an amended versions to the market on Friday. What was the reason for this amendment, and what details stand out for you amongst these headline numbers in the PEA?
Yeah, thanks, Alex. The first thing that I'd like to say is that it really doesn't change the nature of this announcement. It's still a game changer for the company. It's a very important, a very good result that we got here from this PEA. Very good financial numbers coming out. The difference, or the issue that we were faced with the voluntary suspension was that there was some discussion with the ASX about whether there were sufficient tonnes for the stage 3 project. And that took a little bit of time to sort out, but however, it doesn't change the nature of the project whatsoever. The stage 1, stage 2 financials look really good. And as you've asked about the highlights there, you have a very high IRR around about 40%. You have a 2.5-year payback on stage 1, very good economics and very appealing to investors.
Thanks, Bruce. So the announcement also touches on the unique nature of the Paradox Brine project, which lent itself to the impressive economics that we can see in the PEA. Can you just touch on what makes the brine from Paradox so different? And are there any other globally significant projects that we can look to for a comparison?
We don't know of any other projects which are exactly similar to this for bromine production. So the unique nature of it is that it comes from under 6,000 feet up to surface under its own pressure, and that's a result of some unique geological structures under there, which allows that pressure to build up and to force the brine to the surface. It's also unusually hot, the temperature of it and its depth, and it also has high pressure. So they're all sort of unique situation which results in that brine making its way to surface. Another aspect of this particular brine is, unlike a lot of lithium lakes where you have just lithium in there, we have a number of high concentrations of different minerals, including a bromine, but there's also some lithium, and we've also identified boron there and also iodine. So it provides us with a number of different minerals which we're able to extract in the same fashion. So it comes up on its own pressure, and then using different techniques we can separate out the different minerals, providing a multiple revenue stream, which of course makes your project highly valuable.
Thanks, Bruce. Now, last time we spoke, you outlined exactly why bromine represents a compelling near-term opportunity for Anson, and this appears to be strongly supported by the Stage 1 numbers that you released in the PEA. Can you just give us a brief run-through of what advantages you take from Stage 1, and does this effectively fast-track your development through to full production?
Yeah, well, this is Stage 1 is a production, so we're producing 15,000 tonnes of sodium bromide. So that's transforming the elemental bromine into a sodium bromide. So it's actually a product in its own right. So you can sell that, or you can further add value to it to make different products. So that's one of the reasons that it's such a valuable project. That it provides us with the free flow coming to surface. We're able to quickly put a project together to start producing, generating a cash flow, and then we use that cash flow to expand the production rate and also extract the other minerals that are in there. So I just highlighted the other 3 minerals that are currently been identified as having relatively high concentrations, economic concentrations. So we need to do a lot of more work to determine all that.
Thanks, Bruce. And just finally, with the PEA providing a strong foundation for Paradox's future development, which you briefly mentioned there, and that was also one of the key near-term milestones that you've been talking about for a while now. What's the next major milestone for Paradox, and what's the pathway to achieve that?
We expect to conduct a PFS as the next stage. It's the next big step with the project. So as I outlined last time we spoke, that the upgrade in the JORC resource was one step towards the PEA, and the next step after that is the PFS. So the PFS will provide a lot more detail and design and costing on top of the PEA, and that's due to commence in the near future. But before we get into that, there's a number of of a lot of unpacking to do of the PEA. There's a lot of information in there which we couldn't include in detail in this announcement today. So you'll see things like there's a pipeline, there's obviously a location where we'd like to build the plant, and all of that information is going to be provided over the next few weeks. But most of it, all of it is in the PEA, but in sort of very short form. So we've got a lot to do there. And then we move on to the PFS and developing that out, and approvals from government for pipelines and locations of buildings, etc. So there's a lot more things to happen over the next couple of months.
Fantastic, Bruce. Really appreciate you joining me again today. Again, congratulations on the announcement, and we'll be keeping an eye on how those milestones advance over the coming months. But again, thank you very much for joining me.
Okay, thanks, Alex.